Hello everybody and welcome back to the engine house. As you can see, I'm actually in the engine house today. And you can see there's a lot of disarray here going on. I have homemade ground cover flocking started here. Hansel and Gretel's confectionaries is here. I have some other stuff here. And the last video, of course, I shot on this and I was cleaning it up and I brought it downstairs and I'm waiting for it to thoroughly dry and I'll be starting on it. Okay, it's kind of a mess in here. I've really, I've been wanting to get back to work on the layout itself, and I've been doing, of course, the buildings and other things, and of course, home ownership. My wife turned on a light switch last night, and it tried to short out and burn down the house, maybe. I don't know. So today, of course, this morning, I had to run to the hardware store and buy a new light switch and change that. And the joys of home ownership. Anyway, last video, I was showing you this and what I had done. And I came back down here. I was going to start putting some ground cover down. And this is really too steep for ground cover, as is this over here. I'll get to these in just a minute. So I went ahead and painted this gray. And these, of course, are the foothills. Now, these are feet. They did look like this when I first painted them up. And I like the texture. I like the colors, but it doesn't look too natural, as if, foothills would look natural. So I went ahead and I did paint over them to match the rock more. And then, of course, I decided to do this. So I'll be blending this in later today, today or tomorrow. These are tree bark. Marklund of Sweden, I'll link his video in the description down below when I'm done. This is all tree bark. Marklund of Sweden showed how to do it. It's a cheap way to put some, rock when it's painted. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good, actually. Over here, it's a little thicker on the paint than I would like. I was learning the technique and I was trying to dry brush and I wasn't getting enough paint off, but I'm not going to redo this. It started getting better as I went around here. Part of the thing with, getting started back into this hobby after God knows how many years, I'm learning and picking it up, and I'm happy with the result, so I'm going to leave it. You can see where I left off was right there. I've got to go around the corner still and over there, and I have to build a tunnel entrance over there as well. You can see I started one here. I've got to get to work on that. This bridge is leaving. No matter how I do it, I cannot get a nice straight shot at it with the track that I have, and I don't have enough of. This track stands taller than this. This was from my late father-in-law's set in 1947, and it stands taller than the later stuff from the 1950s. I don't have enough. So this bridge is going away, and I'm going to hand build a bridge here without the sides. So because the locomotive keeps hitting it, no matter what I do, it doesn't turn out right. So we're going to leave that alone, take it out, and I'll do something else. I've been kind of playing with the track here. I've got to start securing the track and adding some feeder lines to it. In the meantime, I also have to add more feeder lines to this. And again, I'm learning. That's coming. So I have so far one lead into this, and it's right there. And the other one for the other track is right there. My transformer will do 2 trains. And silly me, again, learning. When I did mine years ago, it was HO. I had one power, and it ran the whole thing without any problems. This is very old track. And I've been cleaned up. I can get a train to run all the way around without too much trouble. Sometimes it likes to stall over there on that switch, on that turnout. Other times it'll go through, but I think I'm going to have power blocks underneath the layout, and I'm going to be running feeders out every so many feet so that I get constant power all the way through. To be honest, I don't mind running trains. Honestly, I only really run them when my grandson's here. I really rather build buildings and do the scenery. But you know, I like collecting the stuff. Of course, this is my grandson's. This is mine. This is everything that needs worked on, of course. And then right here, and I'd love some more. So I like collecting it. I like it. I enjoy playing with it occasionally, but I really mostly enjoy doing the scenery. So what can I say? And then over here, of course, on the workbench, I'm trying to find a way to get at my paints a little easier. This is annoying in here when I'm trying to get to something that's back there. I'm knocking stuff over. I'm going to take this out. We had this. My wife had it in her craft room, and I can get a lot of my paints in there. We're going to set it over here in this corner. I'm going to take all of this out, and we're hopefully going to find another one of these next time we go shopping. One or two of these to put over here, and we'll go from there. And I will redo this area so it's easier for me to work. Couple things. This is the original motor for way over there, the Spotlight car. The control panel was snapped off when I got it, and I found another one with the control panel box there, and I decided that one of my industries, of course, was going to probably need a backup generator. So I cleaned this up, weathered it, and I figure if it's going to be in a building, which it will be, you'll be seeing it, but it'll be in its own little building. The control panel wouldn't be here; it'd be on a wall somewhere. So I figured I could get away with not having the control panel here. So I cleaned it up. I dirtied it up and painted it, detailed it a bit, as you can see, and that's going in near one of the buildings. Also, I am making a sign stand. Here is the name of the town, Castaway, Maine. This is going to go here. And these, of course, are the legs for the side. And let me get down here where you can see it. And this will be sitting, I'll push that out of the way. This will be sitting somewhere over here, poked into the foam to welcome you to the town of Castaway, Maine. And again, the reason this is where it is to make it look like the train is actually going somewhere. That's kind of what I was wanting to do with it. And so when it goes through here, it's going to another town, another state, wherever. So that's why this is the way it is here. And again, I have not decided yet what I'm going to do with this. At first, I thought about just putting buildings up behind it here. I don't know yet what I'm doing. I was not going to do tunnel entrances because I didn't carve anything out here for, So I had a piece of plywood up here with scenes on both sides. If some of you remember one of my earlier videos, there's a piece of plywood here that was supposed to simulate blocking, and I didn't like it, so I took it out. So we'll figure out something with that, but then I need to come up with a name and a place for this area. This is going to be mostly rural over here. I already have a little farmhouse a barn, a couple other things over there. Some of it's not quite to O scale, but then again, my layout is fantasy. Could be halflings, hobbits, dwarves, could be anything. You can see I already have dragons on the layout here hanging out. So the buildings can be almost any scale I want them to be for what I want to do. We'll go from there. But yeah, you can see I still need to finish this here. And then, of course, I need to get this track down and secured. And then I need to build the waterfall, the little lake up top, and do some more foliage and ground cover and whatnot. Along with these, of course, in the last video I mentioned them, I'll show them again. The foothills here. Up here is going to be the headwaters. And here are the two that are going there. And when I'm done, they'll be look like they have water coming out of their mouth. And they'll be painted up, look more like this. Again, I like the texture. They don't look real enough to what I'm looking for. So these will be up there. This will have something back here, so it's coming out of the stone and sitting there and spitting out water. And it's the way my brain works, right? Writer's brain. I'm allowed. And of course, the Granny and Reds is going to get a sidewalk. I have some other detail parts I missed. They're sitting over there and I missed them. Granny and Reds and a couple other buildings are going to sit there to block that off, so you're not seeing that. There'll be a few trees over here. There's going to be another small hill over here somewhere in the back. And then right here where this is currently sitting, there's going to be another small hill right in here with a lighthouse on top. Okay, and my next scratch-built building will be over here, and it's going to be Green Pastures Dairy. I believe I mentioned that in one of the other videos, and you can you'll see that when I start building it. Of course, here's the boiler room for Hansel and Gretel's confectionaries, and of course the junk pile. And was waiting for some more detail parts, but I waited for these. These are a couple of dumpsters, 3D printed. The smaller one here will go outside of Granny and Red's. This larger one will go outside of Hansel and Gretel's, probably over here. When I set this where it's going to go, it'll go probably right here next to the unloading dock. And I have some other detail parts coming for the loading dock. And of course I have to finish touching up the paint, and I have the sign. I'll show you the sign here. Where did I put it? Here it is. There's the sign. There's some little extra candies. My wife printed off on some cardstock for me. They'll be going somewhere on this. This is going to go right in there somewhere. And the candies will just kind of dance around on it a little bit, and I'll dirty them up, make them look like they've been there a while. So anyway, and this is going to be the building that this sets in. And I need two hands to take it apart, but I'm going to be trimming this up here and cutting an area out here so you can see this when it's sitting in there. This will all be painted up, and it'll be where that sits. And it'll have a little exhaust tube coming out somewhere in the back. And there we go, generator shed. So I still have to stain this, and I have to glue these on. I was glued it yesterday, waiting for glue to dry is, you know, the bane of every modeler. Now I have to glue these on, and then I want to drill some holes in the bottom and put something in them to stick it into the foam back there. So I'm going to finish gluing this together, and I'm going to put stuff in there before I stain it. But in the meantime, I will show you here in a little bit what I'm going to do with these to fill those gaps in. And then I have to wait for that to dry to paint and then start washing. So start the weathering process. So anyway, you'll see that here in a little bit. Sorry, I'm using my phone today and not the tablet. So I'll be back shortly to show you a little bit of that. And some of the other stuff will be in a different video as I get to making it look like this over here and not that. So I'll show you what I did. And again, I'll put a link in the description to Marklund of Sweden's video where he uses this bark to look like stone. And it looks pretty convincing if you really, you know, think about it. It's a cheap way. I happen to have a tree in the backyard that has a lot of this bark on it, and the tree's getting old, so some of it will fall right off. And I just pick it up off the ground and cut it in half and glue it in place. So I'll be back in a little bit to show you how we do the plaster on those, and stand by. Okay, once you've got, I use plaster of Paris in Sculpt-A-Mold as well as in some of this stuff. Works pretty good, and it's relatively cheap. Once you got it mixed up, and this is a little soupy, give me a little more time to work with it. You want to put this on to kind of cover up the difference between the bark that is going to be the rock and your surface. Any gaps, you want to fill those in as best you can and get them in there. And my lovely wife's doing the shooting today. You can probably come over here and get a nice close-up of that, honey. Okay. This one, of course, I glued and glued and glued, and no matter what, it would not stay like I wanted it. So hopefully, by doing this, the plaster... Hi, Shop Kitty. You're right in the middle of the shot there, Kitty. Hi, I love you, Shop Kitty, but I only have so much time to work with this. Yes, I know. Very vocal cat lately. She wants her 15 minutes of fame. And what I'm doing is just basically filling in, like I said, any gaps that are noticeable to make it look like it's blended in with the mountainside. And, whoops, I probably got a little too much for this one. That's pretty much all you want to do. And like I said, Marklund of Sweden showed a really good video of this, and I will link his video in the description for you so you can see his work. And he is really good with some of this. Probably much better than some of my stuff, but I'm getting better. The whole point in modeling is, for starters, keeping a Shop Kitty out of your face. I'm in the middle of something, sweetheart. And I'm getting back talk from the shop cat. That's pretty bad today. So I will probably, I gotta get some more in there. There's a nice big gap. Hi, kitty. And we'll put some more right in here. And of course, the blending part will be the most fun. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. It's actually pretty simple. Plaster Paris, some tree bars, hopefully catless. She is a very loving cat, and she loves to be down here, and she loves to bother me, as you've seen. I have things to do. So that's pretty much self-explanatory. Now, like, I have to paint this once it dries, this color, and then start the blending it in to make it all look the same. So that'll happen. I'll show you that in another video, because this is going to take a while to dry. So I hope you enjoyed. If you did, of course, like and subscribe. I'm actually in the engine house for once. I'm not up at the dining room table pestering the wife. I drug the wife down here to help shoot the video. It's great to have an understanding wife. Anyway, have a great day, and bye for now.